Howdy. We're going to be studying the SC-900, which is Microsoft's Security, Compliance, and Identity Fundamentals exam. And we're on the last module, Introduction to Microsoft Priva and Microsoft Purview. So let's go ahead and continue. I'm not signed in. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Describe data loss prevention in Microsoft Purview. Data loss can harm an organization's customers, business processes, and the organization itself. Organizations need to prevent data loss by detecting risky behavior and preventing sensitive information from being shared inappropriately. In Microsoft Purview, you implement data loss protection by defining and applying data loss prevention policies. With a data loss prevention policy, you can identify, monitor, and automatically protect sensitive items across Microsoft 365 services such as Teams, Exchange, SharePoint, and OneDrive accounts, Office applications such as Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, Windows 10, Windows 11, and Mac OS, 3 latest release versions, endpoints, Cloud apps, on-premises file shares, and on-premises SharePoint, Power BI. Data loss prevention detects sensitive items by using deep content analysis, not by just a simple text scan. Content is analyzed for primary data matches to keywords, by the evaluation of regular expressions, by internal function validation, and by secondary data matches that are in proximity to the primary data match. Beyond that, data loss prevention also uses machine learning algorithms and other methods to detect content that places your data loss prevention policies. Protective actions of data loss prevention policies. Data loss prevention policies are how you monitor the activities that users take on sensitive items at rest, sensitive items in transit, or sensitive items in use, and take protective actions. Protective actions that data loss prevention policies can take include: show a pop-up policy tip to the user that warns them that they might be trying to share a sensitive item inappropriately. Block the sharing, and via a policy tip, allow the user to override the block and capture the user's justification. Block the sharing without the override option. For data at rest, sensitive items can be locked and moved to a secure quarantine location. For Teams chat, the sensitive information isn't displayed. All data loss prevention monitored activities are recorded to the Microsoft 365 audit log by default and routed to Activity Explorer. When a user performs an action that meets the criteria of a data loss prevention policy, you have alerts configured. Data loss prevention provides alerts in the Data Loss Prevention Alert Management Dashboard. Data loss prevention policy information. Data loss prevention policies can be created from predefined templates, or you can create a custom policy. No matter which policy you choose, all data loss prevention policies require the same information. Choose the type of data to monitor. Predefined policy templates allow you to choose from categories such as financial data, medical and health data, or privacy data for various country regions. Alternatively, you can create a custom policy that uses the available sensitive information types, retention labels, and sensitivity labels. Choose administrative scoping. Data loss prevention policies can be applied to all users and groups by an unrestricted administrator, or they can be scoped to administrative units. Administrative units let you subdivide your organization into smaller units and then assign specific administrators that can manage only the members of those units. Choose the location where the policy is applied, such as Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, and more. Choose the conditions that must be matched for a policy to be applied to an item. Choose the protective action to take when the policy conditions are met. What is endpoint data loss prevention? Endpoint data loss prevention enables you to audit and manage the many activities users take on sensitive items that are physically stored on Windows 10, Windows 11 or Mac OS devices. The list that follows shows a few examples: creating an item, renaming an item, copying items to removable media, copying items to network shares, printing documents, accessing items using unallowed apps and browsers. In the Activity Explorer, you can view information about what users are doing with sensitive content. Admins use this information to enforce protective actions for the content through controls and policies. Data loss prevention and Microsoft Teams. Data loss prevention capabilities extend to Microsoft Teams chat and channel messages, whether it's in a message or a file, including messages and private channels. Just like with Exchange, Outlook, SharePoint, and OneDrive, administrators can use data loss prevention policy tips that are displayed to the user to show them why a policy has been triggered. For example, the screenshot that follows shows a policy tip on a chat message that was blocked because the user attempted to share a US Social Security number. The user can then find out more about why their message was blocked by selecting the What Can I Do link and take appropriate action. Data loss prevention policies applied to Microsoft 365 services, including Microsoft Teams, can help users across organizations to collaborate securely and in a way that's in line with compliance requirements. Integration with Microsoft Security Copilot. Microsoft Purview Data Loss Prevention supports integration with Microsoft Security Copilot through the standalone and embedded experiences. To experience this Copilot capability, organizations must be onboarded to Copilot, enable Copilot to access data from Microsoft 365 services, and users must have the appropriate role permissions. The Microsoft Purview capabilities that you can view in the standalone experience by selecting the prompt icon and selecting all capabilities are built-in prompts that you can use, but you can also enter your own prompts based on the capabilities supported. In the embedded experience, Copilot and Microsoft Purview Data Loss Prevention supports alert summarization. To access Copilot from within Microsoft Purview Data Loss Prevention, navigate to the Alerts queue to select the alert you want to review. Information about the alert and the option to summarize the alert are displayed. You select Summarize to have Copilot generate the last summary. Describe insider risk management in Microsoft Purview. Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management is a solution that helps minimize internal risks by enabling an organization to detect, investigate, and act on risky and malicious activities. Managing and minimizing risk in an organization starts with understanding the types of risks found in the modern workplace. Some risks are driven by external events and factors and are outside an organization's direct control. Other risks are driven by internal events and employee activities that can be eliminated and avoided. Some examples include links of sensitive data and data spillage, confidentiality violations, intellectual property theft, fraud, insider trading, regulatory compliance violations. Insider risk management is centered around the following principles: transparency, balance user privacy versus organization risk with privacy by design architecture, configurable, configurable policies based on industry, geographical, and business groups. Integrated, integrated workflow across Microsoft Purview solutions. Actionable, provides insights to enable user notifications, data investigations, and user investigations. Insider risk management overflow. Insider risk management helps organizations to identify, investigate, and address internal risks. With focused policy templates, comprehensive activity signaling across Microsoft 365, and a flexible workflow, organizations can take advantage of actionable insights to help identify and resolve risky behavior quickly. Identifying and resolving internal risk activities and compliance issues with insider risk management in Microsoft Purview is achieved using the following workflow: policy, alerts, triage, investigate, and action. And then collaborations is compliance, human resources, legal security. Policies. Insider risk management policies are created using predefined templates and policy conditions that define what risk indicators are examined in Microsoft 365 feature areas. These conditions include how indicators are used for alerts, what users are included in the policy, which services are prioritized in the monitoring time period, alerts, Alerts are automatically generated by risk indicators that match policy conditions and are displayed in the alerts page, which provides a quick view of all alerts needing review, open alerts over time, and alert statistics for the organization. Data loss prevention alerts can also be viewed in the Microsoft Defender portal, where they are automatically combined in incidents that provide a comprehensive view into potential policy violations and advanced tools for investigation and remediation. Triage. New activities that need investigation automatically generate alerts that are assigned a needs review status. Reviewers in the organization can quickly identify these alerts and scroll through each to evaluate and triage. Alerts are resolved by opening a new case, assigning the alert to an existing case, or dismissing the alert. As part of the triage process, reviewers can view alert details for the policy match, view user activity associated with the match, see the severity of the alert, and review user profile information. Investigate. Cases are created for alerts that require deeper review and investigation of the details and circumstances around the policy match. The Cases page provides an all up view of all active cases, open cases over time, and case statistics for the organization. Selecting a case opens it for investigation and review. This area is where risk activities, policy conditions, alert details, and user details are synthesized into an integrated view for reviewers. The primary investigation tools in this area are user activity. User risk activity is automatically displayed in an interactive chart that plots activities over time and by risk level for current or past risk activities. Reviewers can quickly filter and view the entire risk history for user and drill into specific activities for more details. Content Explorer. All data files and email messages associated with alert activities are automatically captured and displayed in the Content Explorer. Reviewers can filter and view files and messages by data source, file type, tags, conversation, and many more attributes. Case Notes. Reviewers can provide notes for a case in the Case Notes section. This list consolidates all notes in a central view and includes reviewer and date submitted information. Action. After cases are investigated, reviewers can quickly act to resolve the case or collaborate with other risk stakeholders in the organization. Actions can be as simple as sending a notification when the employees accidentally or inadvertently violate policy conditions. In more serious cases, reviewers may need to share the insider risk management case information with other reviewers in the organization. Escalating a case for investigation makes it possible to transfer data and management of the case to eDiscovery and Microsoft Purview. Insider risk management can help you detect, investigate, and take action to mitigate internal risks in your organization in several common scenarios. These scenarios include data theft by employees, the intentional or unintentional leak of confidential information, offensive behavior, and more. Integration with Microsoft Security Copilot. Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management supports integration with Microsoft Security Copilot through the standalone and embedded experiences. To experience Copilot integration, organizations must be onboarded to Copilot, have enabled Copilot to access data from Microsoft 365 services, and users must have the appropriate role permissions. The Microsoft Purview capabilities that you can view in the standalone experience by selecting the prompt icon and selecting all capabilities are built-in prompts that you can use, but you can also enter your own prompts based on the capabilities supported. In the embedded experience, Copilot and Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management supports alert summarization. To access Copilot from within Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management, navigate to the Alerts queue to select the alert you want to review. Information about the alert and the option to summarize the alert are displayed. You select Summarize to have Copilot generate the alert summary. Describe adaptive protection in Microsoft Purview. Adaptive protection in Microsoft Purview uses machine learning to identify the most critical risks and proactively and dynamically apply protection controls from data loss prevention, Microsoft Purview data lifecycle management, Microsoft Entra conditional access. Integration with data loss prevention, data lifecycle management, and conditional access can help organizations automate the response to insider risks and reduce the time required to identify and remediate potential threats. By using the capabilities of all four solutions, organizations can create a more comprehensive security framework that addresses both internal and external threats. Adaptive protection helps mitigate potential risks by using Context-aware detection helps identify the most critical risks with machine learning-driven analysis of both content and user activities. Dynamic controls helps enforce effective controls on high-risk users while others maintain productivity. Automated mitigation helps to minimize the impact of potential data security incidents and reduce admin overhead. Adaptive protection dynamically assigns appropriate data loss prevention, data lifecycle management, and conditional access policies to users based on the insider risk levels, elevated, moderate, or minor, defined and analyzed by the machine learning models and insider risk management. Policies become adaptive based on user context, ensuring that the most effective policies such as blocking data, sharing through data loss prevention, or blocking application access through conditional access is applied only to high-risk users while low-risk users maintain productivity. Adaptive protection and data loss prevention. Adaptive protection in Microsoft Purview integrates Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management with Microsoft Purview Data Loss Prevention. When Insider Risk Management identifies a user who is engaging in risky behavior, they're dynamically assigned an insider risk level. Then adaptive protection can automatically create a data loss prevention policy to help protect the organization against the risky behavior that's associated with that insider risk level. As users' insider risk level change in insider risk management, the data loss prevention policies applied to users can adjust. As part of a new data loss prevention policy, the compliance admin needs to be able to identify important information such as credit card numbers across the organization's data. How can the admin team address this requirement? Use Activity Explorer. Identify important information. Within the organization, some emails are confidential and should be encrypted so that only authorized users can read them. How can this requirement be implemented? Use sensitivity labels. I think this one's Activity Explorer, actually. The compliance admin for the organization wants to explain the importance of insider risk management to business leaders. What use case would apply? To identify and protect against risks like an employee sharing confidential information, to identify and protect against malicious software across your network, such as ransomware, to identify and protect against devices shutting down at critical moments. It'd be the first one. Let's see how I did. So it must be sensitivity labels then. Let's try it again. As part of a new data loss prevention policy, the compliance admin needs to be able to identify important information such as credit cards across the organization's data. How can the admin address this requirement? Use sensitivity levels. Within the organization, some emails are confidential and should be encrypted so that only authorized users can read them. How can this requirement be implemented? Use sensitivity labels. The compliance admin for our organization wants to explain the importance of insider risk management to the business leaders. What use case would apply? To identify and protect against risks like an employee sharing confidential information. I guess it's use sensitive information types. In this module, I'm going to click on this because I got that wrong a couple times. Learn more about sensitive information types. In this module, you learned about Microsoft Purview Data Security Solutions. Microsoft Purview Data Security offers a comprehensive approach to safeguarding your organization's data across its entire lifecycle. By integrating solutions such as data loss prevention, insider risk management, and information protection, Microsoft Purview ensures that sensitive data is protected from unauthorized access and misuse. This integrated approach helps organizations manage critical risks and comply with regulatory requirements, providing end-to-end protection for data wherever it resides. By using Microsoft Purview, organizations can achieve a more effective balance between data security and productivity, ultimately safeguarding their most valuable asset, their data. Now that you've completed this module, you should be able to describe how Microsoft Purview Information Protection helps organizations discover, classify, and protect sensitive information. Describe how Microsoft Purview Data Loss Prevention helps organizations prevent their users from inappropriately sharing sensitive data with people who shouldn't have it. Describe how Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management helps minimize internal risks. Describe the data compliance solutions of Microsoft Purview. Learn how Microsoft Purview data compliance solutions help organizations manage risk and regulatory requirements. By the end of this module, you'll be able to describe Microsoft Purview eDiscovery and Audit, describe Microsoft Purview Compliance Manager, describe Microsoft Purview Communication Compliance, describe Microsoft Purview Data Lifecycle Management, describe Microsoft Purview Records Management. Microsoft Purview is a comprehensive set of solutions accessed through the Microsoft Purview portal that helps organizations govern, protect, and manage data wherever it lives across their entire data estate. In this module, you'll learn about Microsoft Purview data compliance solutions and how they can help your organization manage and monitor its data, minimize compliance risks, and meet regulatory requirements. After completing this module, you'll be able to describe Microsoft Purview eDiscovery and Audit, describe Microsoft Purview Compliance Manager, describe Microsoft Purview Communication Compliance, and describe Microsoft Purview Records Management. Describe Audit in Microsoft Purview. Auditing solutions in Microsoft Purview help organizations effectively respond to security events, forensic investigations, internal investigations, and compliance obligations. Thousands of user and admin operations performed in dozens of Microsoft 365 services and solutions, and also Security Copilot, if enabled, are captured, recorded, and retained in your organization's unified audit log. Audit records for these events are searchable by security operations, IT admins, insider risk teams, and compliance and legal investigators in your organization. The capability provides visibility into the activities performed across your Microsoft 365 organization. Microsoft Purview provides two auditing solutions, Audit Standard and Audit Premium. Audit Standard. Audit Standard is turned on by default for all organizations with the appropriate subscription and available to users with the appropriate permissions. When an audited activity is performed by a user or admin, an audit record is generated and stored in the audit log for your organization. In Audit Standard, records are retained for 180 days. You can retrieve audit logs that occur in most of the Microsoft 365 services in your organization by using the following methods: the Audit Log Search tool in the Microsoft Purview portal, the Office 365 Management Activity API, the Search Unified Audit Log commandlet in Exchange Online PowerShell. After you search the audit log, you can export the audit records returned by the search to a CSV file, enabling further analysis using Microsoft Excel or Excel Power Query. Audit Premium. Audit Premium builds on the capabilities of Audit Standard by providing audit log retention policies, longer retention of audit records, high-value intelligent insights, and higher bandwidth access to Office 365 Management Activity API. Audit log retention policies. You can create customized audit log retention policies to retain audit records for longer periods of time, up to 1 year, and up to 10 years for users with the required add-on license. Longer retention of audit records. Microsoft Entra ID, Exchange, OneDrive, and SharePoint audit records are retained for 1 year by default. Audit records for all other activities are retained for 180 days by default, or you can use audit log retention policies to configure longer retention periods. Audit Premium Intelligent Insights. Audit records for Intelligent Insights can help your organization conduct forensic and compliance investigations by providing visibility to events such as when the mail items were accessed, or when mail items were replied to and forwarded, or when and what a user searched for in Exchange Online and SharePoint Online. These intelligent insights can help you investigate possible breaches and determine the scope of compromise. Higher bandwidth Office 365 Management Activity API, Audit Premium, provides organizations with more bandwidth to access auditing logs through the Office 365 Management Activity API. Licensing. Licensing for Audit Standard or Audit Premium requires the appropriate organization level subscription and corresponding per user licensing. For additional information on licensing requirements, visit the Learn More section in Summary and Resources unit. Audit Log in Microsoft Purview for Security Copilot. The audit logging feature in Security Copilot uses Microsoft Purview to process and store admin actions, user actions, and Copilot responses. This includes data from many Microsoft and non-Microsoft integrations. From the Microsoft Security Copilot portal, the standalone experience, Copilot owners can opt in to allow Microsoft Purview to access, process, copy, and store customer data from your Security Copilot services. Once this feature is enabled in Copilot, if your organization is already using Microsoft Purview, no further actions is required. Audit logging is turned on by default for Microsoft 365 organizations. However, when setting up a new Microsoft 365 organization, you should verify the auditing status for your organization. If your organization isn't already using Microsoft Purview, then audit logging needs to be provisioned. See Turn Auditing On or Off to learn more. Microsoft Purview stores your customer data in the region where your Microsoft 365 data is stored. See Privacy and Data Security in Microsoft Security Copilot to learn more. Describe e-discovery. Electronic discovery, or e-discovery, is the process of identifying and delivering electronic information that can be used as evidence in legal cases. E-discovery is one of the solutions available through the Microsoft Purview portal under the Risk and Compliance set of solutions. The Microsoft Purview portal presents a unified UI experience for e-discovery. If you previously worked with e-discovery through Microsoft Standard Purview Compliance portal, a key difference is that you'll no longer experience a different UI for eDiscovery Standard and eDiscovery Premium. Instead, you have one consistent UI, and depending on the licensing and subscriptions for your organization, you can further manage cases and analyze content using premium eDiscovery features. To access any of the eDiscovery related tools, a user must be assigned to the appropriate permissions. eDiscovery can be accessed through the Microsoft Purview Compliance portal, but the Microsoft Purview Compliance portal is scheduled for retirement by the end of 2024. Unless otherwise stated, information in this unit refers to eDiscovery functionality available through the Microsoft Purview portal. You can use the Microsoft Purview eDiscovery to identify, review, and manage content in Microsoft 365 services to support your investigations. Supported Microsoft 365 services include Exchange Online, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft 365 Groups, OneDrive, SharePoint, Viva Engage. eDiscovery workflow. The eDiscovery workflow helps you more quickly identify, investigate, and take on electronic stored information, ESI, in your organization. Identifying and taking action on ESI items within eDiscovery Preview uses the following workflow. 1. Escalate from a trigger event. Trigger events are activities that are escalated in your organization and prompt the creation of a new case in eDiscovery Preview. 2. Create and manage cases. Create and manage a case. A case in eDiscovery Preview contains all searches, holds, and review sets related to a specific investigation. 3. Search, evaluate results, and refine. After you create a case, use the built-in search tools in eDiscovery Preview to search the content locations in your organization. Step 4A. Actions include export search results, create review sets from the search results. A review set is a secure Microsoft-provided Azure storage location in the Microsoft Cloud. When you add data to a review set, the collected items are copied from their original content location to the review set. Review sets provide a static, known set of content that you can search, filter, tag, and analyze. Create holds. You can create holds to preserve content that might be relevant to an eDiscovery case. 5. Review and take action from review sets. There are many different actions you can take. Some of the actions include run analytics. eDiscovery provides integrated analytics tools that help you further cull data from the review set that you determine isn't relevant to the investigation. Tag items. When experts, attorneys, or other users review content in a review set, their opinions related to the content can be captured using tags. Export items. After you search for and find data that's relevant to your investigation, you can export it out of your Microsoft 365 organization for review by people outside of the investigation team. eDiscovery features and capabilities. The list that follows is a small subset of the capabilities available with eDiscovery. For a complete listing, refer to the Features and Capabilities section of the article titled Learn About eDiscovery Preview, linked in the Summary and Resources unit of this module. Search for content. Search for content that's stored in Exchange mailboxes, OneDrive accounts, SharePoint sites, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft 365 groups, and Viva Engage Teams. Export search results. Export search results to a local computer in your organization. When you export search results, items are copied from their original content location and packaged. Then you can download those items in the export package to a local computer. Place content locations on hold. Preserve content relevant to your investigation by placing a hold on the content locations in a case. Holds let you secure electronically stored information from inadvertent or intentional deletion during your investigation. Review sets premium feature. A review set is a secure Microsoft provided Azure storage location in the Microsoft Cloud. When you add data to a review set, the collected items are copied from the original content location to the review set. Review sets provide a static, known set of content that you can search, filter, tag, analyze, and predict relevancy using predictive coding models. Optical character recognition, OCR, which is a premium feature. When content is added to a review set, OCR functionality extracts text from images and includes the image text with the content that's added to a review set. This lets you search for image text when you query the content in the review set. Conversation threading, premium feature. When chats, messages from Teams and Viva Engage conversations are added to a review set, you can collect the entire conversation thread. This lets you review chat items in the context of the back and forth conversation. Integration with Microsoft Security Copilot. Microsoft Purview eDiscovery supports integration with Microsoft Security Copilot through the embedded experience. Users whose organization has been onboarded to Copilot have enabled Copilot to access data from Microsoft 365 services and have the appropriate role permissions, can experience Copilot integration through the following supported capabilities. Gain contextual summary of evidence collected in eDiscovery review sets. Preview. Natural language to keyword query language like KeyQL queries. Gain contextual summary of evidence collected in eDiscovery review sets. Preview. eDiscovery admins or managers spend a significant amount of time reviewing evidence collected in review sets. You can use Security Copilot and Microsoft Purview to provide a contextual summary of most items in a review set. The summary provided is in the context of text included in a selected item. The summary can save time for reviewers by quickly identifying information helpful when tagging or exporting items. Security Copilot summarizes the entire item, including documents, meetings, transcripts, or attachments. You can also ask follow-up contextual questions about the summary. Natural language to KeyQL queries. With Copilot integration in eDiscovery, eDiscovery managers can use natural language prompts to generate KeyQL queries. With the query generated, you can save it or run the query. Copilot also provides prompt suggestions that can be generated into a query. Okay, well, my Mac is about to die, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this for now.